Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
Post Joe. As always, with Post Joe, we start out tradition naming the new Patreons, and this week is no different. We have some wonderful Patreons we'd like to welcome to the team. I was thinking, though, we got to change one of our tiers
Yeah, Callan's leaving, don't worry.
to that guy. Let's welcome to the team Ryan Nadeau. Came in at that guy. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. We also have
Terrible time to take a sip.
Terrible. What are you doing?
I was thirsty. Sorry, listeners. We also
Callie
have
McLaughlin.
new Patreon Kool-Aid came in at Brendan Schaub.
Oh wait, sorry. Ryan, thanks so much. We really appreciate that. We really, me
Mucho-
and Matt,
mucho
we really
aficionado.
appreciate you.
Mr.
I get so
Nadeau.
caught up in listening to Kamar that I forget to thank the people. Sorry, go ahead now, Kamar. My bad.
Mr. Nadeau.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Oh, we already did that one.
And
then
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid tastes great. Kool-Aid, can't wait.
I just keep thinking electric Kool-Aid acid test when I hear Kool-Aid.
Well, that was my post, Joe. And also Niall Crosby
Crosby.
added their pledge 1 to 5, stepping up
Thank
to.
you to that guy.
That guy.
Coming in at that guy.
And again, Alex Anthopoulos. Thank you so
We
much.
thank you
for
so
everything.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he should get like 10 shout outs a week. We should start every episode with his name and end every
Once a
episode.
week.
But what about and the other guy?
Who's the other guy? The
I don't-
$50 level?
Yeah, I don't have his
Yeah, he
name in
deserves
front of me
equal
right
shit.
now.
Gavin Workman, you
Thank
know who you
Gavin
are. Love your
Workman,
work.
you are the man. I can't believe I called you the other guy like Brian Callen.
yeah, that's
I'm
terrible.
so sorry.
Gavin, remind us to shout him out again at the end of the
We
episode.
really appreciate you too. And listen, there's a guy who keeps email. Just hold on. You keep going. I'll figure it out here.
Well, I just want to say we specifically thank those Patreons, but we also thank all the Patreons.
All existing
everyone for your
Patreons,
support, all
yes.
existing Patreons and former Patreons. For whatever reason, you had to leave us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we're not mad at you.
There's a gentleman who listens on our who listens to the podcast. He has a friend in Chile, Baladiet. His friend in Chile's name is Pablo.
Shout out to
wanted
Pablo.
a shout out to Pablo,
What
who
the
can't
fuck's up,
get onto the
Pablo?
Patreon, but would really like to. So, Pablo,
Oh, that reminds me. Just real quick, Chico.
from your
please stay
boy in Vancouver, Esteban.
there. What was I going to say?
Shout outs.
Shout
yeah.
outs from Esteban.
If you're not on the Patreon and you want to join, we now Patreon accepts all sorts of different money, so it makes it easier if you're international.
Bitcoin? Do they accept Bitcoin?
I don't know. Kamar, did you see that the other day? Someone posted a
Yep.
photo. You did see that? The photo of the guy with the pizzas?
No, I thought you meant the different currencies that were now accepted.
No. There was a photo of a guy in like 2002 who bought 2 pizzas with Bitcoin.
Oh, yes. And those pizzas would have been worth like
$117 million. Unreal. What have you got there, Kamar?
okay.
These are both on your phones. This is.
First
I
of
was
all,
just double checking.
we were talking about Chris Pratt last week.
You think Arnie's his dad?
He is his dad, his stepfather,
Yeah,
do you mean?
he's married to a Schwarzenegger,
and they're pregnant. So
so there's going to be
Arnold's
little
going to be
Arnie's.
his
Chris
grandfather.
Pratt's married to a Schwarzenegger?
Is that
Correct.
crazy? Isn't that
Correct.
a power family?
Weird.
Yeah, I didn't think it was really much to discuss there. I just thought that was super interesting. Obviously, there was the Big J got taken down at the comedy show.
Yeah.
So this is what I don't understand about that whole situation. The video that I showed you, Matt, where it clearly shows a guy spearing him off the stage. Why do they keep saying he got pulled down by his leg?
Well, I think he grabbed his leg, and I think
I didn't see that. I didn't see. It wasn't clear on the video. You acted like it was an HD
He
video.
looked
of
like he got gang tackled from behind, though.
From behind, like football
Not
speared.
pulled.
Not pulled, not by a leg.
I don't care enough to
I mean, I don't
argue
know.
the semantics
The
of this
saving
one.
grace, though, is I was watching the Louis J. Gomez podcast, and they went into detail about it. And that whole area in front of the stage was sand.
Where he got knocked into.
fell onto. Like I thought that was concrete and it would be a lot worse.
I
but
thought it was
apparently
concrete too. I thought he was performing on the road.
It was
First of all, if you've fallen in sand, that shit's still wicked hard.
not as hard as concrete.
Yeah, I get it,
though.
but it doesn't feel good if you were to land on your head first in sand.
I mean, you've played beach volleyball, like
Yeah, I get it. It's
Haven't
not
you?
the same as street volleyball for sure. Get a little more give, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you were to fall 6 feet flat on your face on sand, it's pretty much the same.
I'm gonna disagree there, but I don't want to get caught in the semantics.
I
of it
really
all.
don't care.
in any event, Jay Okerson's all right, and
Agreed
It's
to
a crazy
disagree.
world down there.
We gonna talk about the fights real quick, or
Well, the fights are the bright spot. I was just gonna say sports are failing. Like no one cares. And Tuukka Rask, he just pulled out. Do you hear about that?
no?
So he's like one of the best goalies in the world. He was asked about a game in a post game interview, and he was like, "Well, it's been 4 months. I'm out of shape. It feels like exhibition games. It's sort of hard to get up to the excitement level." And the Boston fans are like, "Fuck you. We pay you." And he's like, "You know what? I'm out." Because they all do feel like exhibition games. Like I couldn't care less, and I don't think they should have done sports.
It's true. My wife loves watching hockey. She really likes watching basketball. And she's constantly telling me things like, there was a 5 overtime game in the NHL last night. First of all, our team isn't even in the fucking mix anymore.
That's a big
so I
problem.
could care the fuck less.
But the
in
Raptors
hockey.
are in it, and we were all Raptors last year.
They start Monday. I'm gonna watch every single game.
And I will
so-
watch the Raptors too.
Okay.
But by the hockey, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but again, it's really tough when you don't have a dog in the fight. Like, of course, listen, if hockey were on regularly, like let's say in May when it normally would have ended, with the Senators being out, I would have paid very little attention. Very little.
If you win right now,
No matter if no COVID sort of thing.
That's what I'm saying.
if you win this year during COVID,
Yeah, no one's going to take it
the
seriously.
most giant asterisks.
Yeah.
Like there's not even a point. Why? What the fuck? They're
Most of
just
the-
doing this. It's a huge cash grab.
It's greed. Most of the players don't want to do it. They should have just shut everything down and start the seasons up again when things were more clear and knows what's going on. It's just been a
Like,
huge
unless-
blunder.
Have you seen
unless-
baseball? Dude, the Yankees have to play like 15 doubleheaders in a row to get to 60 games. Like what are we doing here?
What
Unless
are we
they
doing here?
thought they were like, the people need this so much, but it's just greed.
They don't. It's just greed. So sports has been a complete disaster.
Well, hold on. I think complete disaster is like the Premier League finished it off. They managed to do it, and they're starting again in September, so we'll see there.
Baseball
Basketball
and hockey have been
basketball
complete
looks like
disasters.
basketball is going to be able to pull it off, right? Like they look like so far so good. I actually watched a few basketball games. They don't seem like exhibition games to me. They seem a bit like, here's an example. Playoff basketball, home team advantage is huge for free throws alone. Like think about the fans behind the fucking that's huge.
Yeah, well, someone was talking about that some guys are better shooters
Of course.
Well, yeah,
without
there's
that
no
the distraction or
magic
whatever.
fingers.
But other guys are better shooters with that because they like the hype and the excitement. I never realized how much, with the exception of UFC, I find that still entertaining. But other sports, I feel like the crowd was 60% of it, and I forget who was saying it, but home field advantage is just taken out.
You think the
playoffs.
crowd was 60% of the sport?
When in hockey, when they go in the corners, everyone's banging on it, and a fight starts, and everyone's screaming. Like I've watched a hockey game. There was a fight. It just doesn't have the same energy.
I'll say this. There's certain sports where the crowd adds a level of intensity. I wouldn't say 60. I'd say 25%.
Okay, I'm reaching.
Sorry, don't touch me. The UFC to me has lost nothing.
No, the UFC is more impactful. I'm telling you, when you hear those punches,
Yeah, I agree.
It's so devastating to listen to, but you really get an idea of how much a body shot hurts, and you lose that when you can't hear a goddamn thing in there.
Have you noticed what they've done in basketball with the crowd? It's kind of interesting.
No.
So you can set up a webcam at home and you can then be in the crowd. So they have a big virtual board up.
So do you pay for that time?
I'm not certain.
somehow?
I just know that when I was watching the games yesterday and the day before, there was it's like 6 rows of people and there's just giant heads. And it's literally people watching live.
Giant heads like NBA Jam.
Honestly, yes, like that. But it's real time, like so it's real people. So it does give a bit. It's
So
not
can
the
you like swear and shit?
no because you can't hear them, Simon.
Oh,
Well, it's not over yet, and I will give the
but can
Raptors
you
a
like
chance.
mouth the words?
Well, again, you can't really see
Fucker
them
in the
that
pussy
much,
or
and I'm sure if
something,
you
you
got
know?
caught doing that, they'd immediately remove you, and then I'm sure they vet you as well.
But I think the whole experiment has been a complete disaster. But that being said, I know they had virtual, so you could put on
VR
goggles and feel like you're in the Staples Center or whatever watching the game. Maybe if they had that on a big scale, and then they could superimpose those people, and there'd be a fan like there.
You know what's really shitty is the Expos, Montreal Expos.
Mm-hmm.
They got totally robbed by
Not
the strike.
totally. I hear that all the time. Hold
They
on.
got totally
Absolutely. They would
fucking
have
robbed.
won the World
They
Series.
would have
No.
ran away with that shit.
They were the best team in the league
But
Yes.
by far.
head-
They
I
had
get
Brandon
it.
Johnson,
shoulders, yeah.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Vladimir, it was
control.
crazy.
It was out
man.
of
It was,
control.
anyways, let me just finish what I was getting at, and then you can come back and rag on them. The Raptors had a chance to go for back-to-back championships.
Oh, this is a conspiracy theory.
No, I'm just saying
Yeah, but they still can.
They will.
they will, but it'll have a
Asterisks.
giant asterisk next to it, unfortunately. No, there's
will
no
and it won't, though.
conspiracy theory here. It's just bad luck for Canadian sports teams.
If they win it by beating Kawhi, it's not an asterisk.
That's what I'm saying. I
If
don't
they
see
can
it that
beat
way.
Kawhi in that one specific
Series.
thing, or
No, what if they beat the Lakers? Are you guys fucking nuts? What if they listen? If they beat, and I realize the Bucks have a ton of injuries. If they can beat Milwaukee in the East and then beat whoever comes out of the West, most likely one of the LA teams, I don't give a fuck. I give it to them.
That'll be enough for us, but it won't be enough for everybody else.
You know what? It doesn't matter because the first one was legit, and they cannot take that away
as
from them.
legit as
So
they come,
whatever.
man.
Fuck.
But it was with Kawhi. This one would be more
Well,
legit.
Kawhi was a
It'd be
fucking
Kawhi.
Raptor. We won with our team.
Either way, I will say this. I looked at the stats yesterday, and they're almost dead even with when they had Kawhi. And that was, they played a good portion of the season.
Well, he sit out. The rest.
Yeah, I know he
regime they
was.
had him on.
I get it, but I'm just saying is the Raptors without Kawhi, they also got rid of who? Valanciunas. They got rid of. Listen.
Well, this has proved me wrong that we've had this much discussion.
Valanciunas, they got rid of him earlier.
I still think sports is a complete disaster, and they should have waited.
Yeah, they got rid of him last year at the fucking trade deadline.
Yeah, because we were playing a different center.
Yeah, I know we got rid of him at the trade deadline, but I'm just saying they got rid of other people as well. And yeah,
Anyways,
So last time he was on the show, Chris D'Elia was telling Joe about the movie he was in, Army of the Dead. It's now come out that he's being erased from the movie and replaced by Tig Notaro.
shut the fuck
No,
up. He's
no.
being erased. by,
They're
what do you
reshooting
mean?
the movie.
no way. Really?
Yeah, he's been canceled.
Wow. They just spent $10 million
Well,
on getting rid of Chris D'Elia.
They did that in that other movie
What's that
with
other movie?
Kevin Spacey, the man who ruled the world, or the
Oh
rich,
yeah,
rich
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Christopher
D'Elia
Plummer
was in
plays
that
him.
movie too.
No. Kevin Spacey was in the movie. Allegations came out. They reshot the movie, but to be replaced by Tig Notaro.
That's who they chose to Tig Notaro.
Rock
Did
bottom.
he get totally fucking screwed here?
Well, I mean, it's
He hasn't come out and said anything.
yeah. He posted a
He
few.
hasn't
Hold on.
defended himself.
Yeah. Hold on.
The
He
one
He
time?
posted some screenshots.
He
of,
said it was of the conversations.
well, yeah, because some of the girls. So one of the girls was like, that was saying,
It's fuck or something.
yeah. So she hit him up the second she was 21 and was like, "Hey, I'm 21 now, totally down to fuck," which kind of kills her whole like he was grooming me, and it's kind of like, well, listen, it's also a weird thing. It's like, so I find out you're 16 and I say, I don't want to fuck you. You're too young. And then you come back to me when you're 21 and you ask me to fuck you. And now I'm the bad guy somehow.
Well,
Like,
that's not grooming. The grooming would be like,
yeah, I know.
hung
Wait
out
until,
going
yeah, I
up
get it.
to there, and then he bided his time, and then
Yeah, I understand.
Sorry, Bidened his time. and
That one
then-
still seems like a weird one to me. Like, I'm going to not fuck you
Did you
for
see
as
what I
long
did
as.
there.
Bide in his time.
Yes.
He's a groomer. I guess his only recourse
He's a toucher. For
was to
sure.
come out firing and sue people, but he didn't. And now, I mean, he's removed from a movie. So
I mean, if he is innocent, if he's guilty, punish him to the full extent of the law. But if he's innocent, talk about a guy who just got fucked over,
it's
man.
a railroad job.
It's tough with rape, though, because I was going to say, like, well, if he never ends up getting charged and there's no criminal, then you'd have to understand. But that's not how it works, because rape is tough to prove. They don't prosecute a lot of the time. Why are you?
No. I'm just saying, and like just innocent or guilty, he's done. Like he'll never scrub that fucking rape stank off him. You know?
No, it wouldn't appear he will not.
It doesn't help having greasy hair and a creepy face. That just,
And I know you don't like this argument, but being typecast as a pedophile really hurts your cause.
Sure.
In
3 credits, 2 of them.
Yes.
Pedophile.
In local news, there's been a spike of children going to the emergency room for eating edibles.
In Ottawa?
Yeah. So parents and adults, you've got to be more responsible. You're going to ruin it for everyone. That's just disappointing that people are leaving that stuff out.
You know why? I'll tell you why that isn't really a story to me, because we all grew up with parents who had stocked liquor cabinets, which we emptied out all the fucking time. Sure, we didn't go to the hospital, but let's also keep in mind, when you get drunk, you feel like shit. There's nothing about getting drunk that makes you be like, I'm going to have a heart attack. I need to go to the hospital.
No. Yeah, but these aren't kids that, these aren't like, I don't think he's talking
I
about
get it. Even if it's
teenagers.
kids, my point.
No,
though,
I don't think
About-
it's teenagers.
He's talking about like 4-year-olds who think it's a cookie.
I
or
I
candy.
understand that. I'm just saying though, to me, it's not like one of those things. I don't know.
It's just people have to be more responsible.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why the stupid shit that they sell at the weed stores is so low in THC, like each edible
I think that's where
itself.
government regulation
I
comes
think
in
that's
handy.
must be why they do that. And nobody likes that, obviously, because it takes you a million fucking cookies to get high. You end up getting fat before you get high. But that's why,
It's just like,
and it's not allowed to look like them looking like a gummy bear. Listen, and I'll tell you, because I know somebody that this has happened to. And it wasn't even THC, it was CBD. But they were so fucking like mortified that they had let it happen that they were worried that maybe because the kid was so small, the CBD was going to do something. You know what I mean? Which it obviously doesn't, because people give their kids CBD. But she had it in the freezer, and the kid was going in to get a popsicle and was like, oh, candy, I'm going to steal this, like what kids do. And they went into the woods and ate the fucking candy. You know what I mean?
kids will be kids.
Headphones on, sweetheart.
Adults have to be a little more responsible. And let's hope they don't ruin it for everyone. This is an interesting story. A woman in Argentina.
I'm not talking into the mic.
No, you weren't, yeah.
sorry.
A woman in Argentina started a honey company,
Okay.
and she called it Miel Gibson Honey. That's funny, eh? Because in French it's miel,
Yeah, I
and
like
in
that,
Spanish it's miel as well. And
I'm such a sucker for a pun that I'll even let
Simon
it get
buys
away
a
with
bottle of
Mel
Mel Gibson.
well,
Yeah.
this is what's interesting.
Oh, but wait, she's Argentinian. Ooh.
Mel Gibson has released the Hounds of Hell on her with cease and desist. It's crushing her. He has no time for his name being tied to honey.
It would have been amazing if the tagline had been like, fuck, I don't even know, man.
Well, that'd be the Sunday Funnies where they write jokes out.
Yeah.
He's a monster. He's a monster.
What's the?
I don't think I can watch Braveheart anymore.
What's the Seinfeld episode? It's so great where Elaine gets so angry because it's with the pigs. It's the New Yorker cartoon.
Oh, because George's cartoon gets in, or
Somebody's cartoon gets in and she's like, I could write a way better. And she comes up with the tagline, and then Kramer and everybody's coming up with
the
the
Sunday
tagline.
Funnies.
Anyway, that doesn't matter.
okay.
Why do you keep saying that?
Mel Gibson's a jerk.
Oh, he is a fucking jerk, but that is such a funny name. Like
Mel Gibson
I
Honey.
really like that Mel Gibson Honey.
There was a story in the news. We spend approximately 20 years of our life sleeping, and that basically qualifies it as an alternate reality.
That is not a story. That's simple math. You sleep 8 hours a day. That's 1/3. You live to 60. It's 20 years.
But a third of your life is sleeping. It's an alternate reality, like false memories. What you think he dreamed. He saw Makovsky on Rogan. It's sort of interesting to
Sure.
think about. You spend that much time, and you just think of sleeping, but there's experiences, there's thoughts, there's a lot going on.
You're gonna be
a double life.
super pissed when it turns out that I did go to another dimension where I did hear McCloskey.
No, I'll be stoked for you, bro.
Shit's all happening right now.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's not a news story. It's just an interesting
No,
thought.
listen,
thing.
I wasn't trying to be a dick. I
No,
just
no,
meant
no, no. That it is very interesting, and it's like we have no idea what really is going on when we sleep, right?
What the consciousness or subconscious doing, no?
Like we have about as much idea as what happens when we sleep as we do what's going on in the ocean.
no. We have.
we might know a bit more than what we know in the
Keeps
ocean.
doing this. Yeah.
5% of the ocean we've discovered. I'm sure they know 5% of sleep.
I bet you they don't even know 1% of sleep. We have no.
I think we got a sleep expert on.
We don't understand consciousness, so we don't understand sleep because we could be closing down and going, our conscious, subconscious taking over, or other conscious taking over, and going to a different place. We just assume it's something that's happening to us when really it may be the other way around. Like
It's an alternate reality. It just sort of gives more possibility of the simulation.
You know, that puts a smile on my face.
Okay, and we're wrapping up here. Trump is considering pardoning Edward Snowden.
good.
Pardoning?
Yeah.
Oh,
He absolutely should do that.
yeah.
Would that be a power move?
It would be the only good thing he's done.
But would that be a power move?
Can't say that'd be the only good thing.
If he legalized marijuana and pardons Edward Snowden.
Are you?
Hold on, first
you're
of all-
sticking up for Trump now?
No, I'm just saying, listen, as much I can shit on the guy all fucking day, it'd be ridiculous for me to assume he hasn't done a single good thing while president.
No.
Nothing.
Okay. Fine. Sorry. Let me walk that
Powerful.
back. Unless he takes down the pedophile ring that's running through Hollywood and through Washington, then this will be the most impactful thing he'll leave as his legacy.
He'll not done enough.
Come on, let me ask you a question though. Assuming he does not get reelected, which is a wild assumption. Let's go on that assumption. You think he's going to federally legalize marijuana in the next 3 months? Is that what I'm getting out of you? 2 months?
Hail Mary, baby. He's the guy that's crazy enough to do it. I doubt he will.
You know that I said that a long time ago,
Yeah,
right?
Simon.
Okay.
Hold on. What I think is he's
Let's
crazy
just not
enough.
forget that.
He's
Trendsetter.
crazy enough to try, maybe, but there's no way that gets pushed through.
But But it's like that's the beauty of politics, or the ugliness of politics. How do the Democrats come
That's
out?
the worst part. Is the Democrats would fucking block it.
And if
Exactly,
and
but
if
they have
he's-
to-
And if he's running the narrative, I'm trying to give this to the youth, and they're stopping it. Like that's enough to win right there.
Not
man.
really, though, and I'll tell you why. Because the Democrats hopefully would play it smart, and the Democrats would be like, "This is a power grab. We've been trying to give you guys this for 10 years, and
That's
these
not how they
assholes-
operate, though. They'll double down and make every.
You don't
You
know
see
that.
the way the DNC has worked thus far with Trump has to be whatever he says, we have to say the opposite. We cannot agree with him at all, no matter what.
They're so
and
lost.
we will double down
I
on our
disagree.
on our hypocrisy just to disagree with him. Yes,
No, I'm telling you, watch.
absolutely.
If he legalizes pot, first of all, the Republican Party will turn on him instantly.
Yeah, but what does he care? He just needs to get through four more years. He's already in.
And if
he
Yeah,
can
but you're
only
missing-
be in for 8 years.
If he gets 4 more years, hold on to your fucking hats, man. He's gonna go crazy. I think.
Look how happy he is.
I think he's going to lose because there's so many people mad at him. But
Oh, I don't think he's going to lose. I think you're crazy. I think the worse it gets down there with the riots and shit, and the more the, Democrats say, no, you can't come in and stop these things from happening, eventually people are going to be like, this isn't the way we want to live, in fear for our cities, and like, no, we need this to have a stop. And then he'll come in, he'll put an end to it, and that'll win it.
all I care about is living to see him debate Joe Biden because I think that would be a riot. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to say you can't do it because of COVID or whatever. But
You don't think they'll just? Why wouldn't they have a virtual
it'll
debate?
be Zoom. Okay, that'll just be different. It'll be weird.
Hold on, they won't do virtual debates. There's no
And
reason.
If they did virtual debates, he
No,
could have
they'll
a
have a
fucking
real
teleprompter
debate
or whatever.
They'll
We'll
have
see.
a real debate.
We'll see. I hope.
Why wouldn't they? It's two guys on
That's what I'm
totally
saying. You
opposite
don't need-
ends
Because
of the stage.
the Democrats do not want Joe Biden to say a word.
Well,
Yeah,
they'll
that's fine.
send
But I'm
Kamala
telling
in.
you, they can't. The Democrats aren't going to be able to block something that
Well,
historically has
she's gotta
taken place
debate-
every presidential
She's got to
election.
debate Mike Pence. That's how it works.
Well, couldn't they
Well, the good news
say?
is, at least she'll crush Mike Pence.
That'll be interesting.
Listen, eventually, the DNC's play is going to be to say Biden is sick of some kind or another. I don't know, COVID, whatever. So they'll do that right before the debates. Kamala will come in as the president to do the debates, and she'll debate Trump. At that point, does he beat her? She's not a pushover like he is.
Well, that's a hypothetical, so maybe it's possible.
He said he won't go after her birther records because her parents weren't born here.
That's grasping at straws, and that sort of talk makes people think like Trump is scared of her grasping at straws. So we'll see. I just hope to see the debate. 2 more stories, then we'll wrap this up.
And I have one.
Oh, okay. The Bloc Québécois
Can you stop drinking that Coke?
Has
I'm never going to make it
honestly.
through this.
has demanded the resignation of Justin Trudeau and the finance minister, or they're going to trigger election.
Can they do that?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Any party can trigger an election.
Well, they vote no confidence as long as the Conservatives are good. Well, it all depends on the polls where he is, but it could get very interesting here in the fall. They're planning on doing this next month, unless Trudeau resigns, which he's not going to resign.
You know what's a problem for me here? The Bloc Québécois.
Let them go.
I've always said that.
I love you, Quebec.
Jackhammer them the fuck off the country.
I didn't go that far.
Send them out to sea.
Jackhammer them off the country.
Like it's
Many
not enough
parties,
just to
many
annex.
voices.
You have to get off the island. You
Listen,
know?
Kamar, I like Quebec.
I love Quebec.
I like them being part of this country, but I'm one of, if you guys want to go, trust me, the grass is always greener,
First
friends.
of all, their
the
government
bricks.
is shit. Quebec's government is shit. Their countryside is beautiful. And if you don't like Canada, get the fuck out. Like, go. Beat it.
Well, it's just ironic that they think they're
you
gonna
have to go. You cannot stay on the country. You get jackhammered off and pushed out to sea to become your own island.
I just think it's
Well, we'll
ironic
need
that
China to do that.
I think it's ironic that they think timber and energy are going to keep their country afloat. It seems very odd.
I think we need to keep him for all those hot
When
girls.
I run for prime minister to spite Kamar because he told me I couldn't do it, remember a couple of episodes ago? One of my platforms is going to be the opposite of Donald Trump's. Like his was build the wall. Mine is going to be jackhammer off Quebec.
I just don't get how, like there's 2 cities and then there's nothing up north. So how do you become a country? Like what do you run off of? You know what I mean?
They
What-
have a lot of hydro.
that's what I just said. Timber and hydro
and
is
hot
it.
chicks.
That only gets you so far. Timber, hydro.
LA has hot chicks and Joe's leaving. So
He's pulling up his hood and leaving the Neil Young
But who
concert.
knows? You know, Joe might move out to Texas and be like, I can't do this, and goes back to LA. Who knows? Who knows?
Or maybe they then move to
given the
Montana.
amount of money that he spent on the studio,
Billings.
and I assume the property, I mean, you know what? Rich people can do what they want, so maybe you're right. But
Final story on August 31st, live on YouTube. David Blaine will attempt to fly from New Jersey to New York holding onto helium balloons.
Like up.
Like up. How many kids are going to be there with like slingshots? Like I guess the world needs this, but it's going to be on YouTube
Now,
live.
how is that magic?
it's not.
Okay.
How is sitting in a
Sitting
box
in a bottle of ice isn't fucking magic.
2
either.
hours?
No. Okay, you're right.
He's
That's
kind
not
of.
magic.
He hasn't been doing magic for a while now. He just does like weird feats of.
I enjoyed his street magic and his levitation.
Endurance.
Yeah.
I liked Harrison Ford
Mind
telling him
over
to get
matter.
out of his house. That was the only thing I've ever liked.
Huh?
You ever saw that?
No.
So David Blaine did this thing where he would like go to famous people's houses and do magic. So he was at Harrison Ford's house, and who's the weird chick with the big head that he's dating?
And Hesh? No.
No, Christina Applegate. What's
Calista Flocker.
Thank you. So he's doing.
What's the flock?
Remember, she was on Ally McBeal.
She was Alec McBeal.
That was it. She was Ally McBeal. So he was doing magic in their kitchen, and there's like a fruit bowl there, and he takes like he's
Card
like,
in the orange.
Yeah, the card in the orange, and when he pulls the card out of the orange, Harrison Ford is like he's looking at it in like awe, and he just looks at him. And he goes, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly
Yeah,
what I would
that's
say.
exact-
dude.
yeah.
This was amazing.
yeah.
Get the
now
fuck
leave,
out.
please,
Yeah.
and leave my wallet
charlatan.
on the table.
Yeah,
Thank you.
seriously. David Blaine's like, yeah, and I just fucked your
Yeah.
wife, and she's standing right next to him. Like, what?
Yeah, have you ever seen the Funny or Die? Would you ever see the Funny or Die that they did on the David Blaine?
No.
Where like he does all these street magic tricks, and these 2 gay guys are like, "Leave us alone, David Blaine." He's like, "Wait, one more trick." And he walks up to the guy's house, and he's like, "Oh, let's go into your house." And he's like, "Why? What's in my house, David Blaine?" He's like, "Don't worry, just go into the house." So they walk into the house, and he's like, "There should be," he's like, "There should be a tape labeled Josh's 4th birthday, 1984. Take it out." And he's like, "Oh my God, it is. It's labeled 1984." And he pushes it in, and they play it, and it's like the kid's birthday party, and then there's a ring at the door, and the mom goes to answer the door, and it's David Blaine there, and he does like the hard look at the camera. It's fucking great.
That's classic. Thank God there's people like that so we can make fun of them.
Yeah, let's end this.
Oh, wait, Simon has one story.
Well, the only thing I was going to say, it's about Bob Lazar. I was listening to this.
Sorry.
The way you guys look at each other is
He didn't even look at me. He looked over there.
Adorable. I was listening to this guy who took a really hard stance on Bob Lazar. He just thinks he's full of shit. And he was saying, look, Bob Lazar could solve this right now. He claims that when he left, because what he's saying is there was the big raid on his house, and Bob Lazar after went on to his Facebook or his Twitter and said there was a raid. So it's documented that he said there was a raid, they came, the FBI raided my house, and he listed why they came and raided his house. It was for like guns or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know what it was for. Then when the movie came out, he kind of changed his story and said that they came to his house to raid to get the unobtainium. Not unobtainium. I'm
Element C51.
I'm blanking on what that element is.
Bullshitium.
114. No, but it's a real element.
Yeah,
so
of course, yeah.
He
Now
would
it
be
is.
the
Yeah.
bullshitter,
Because the CIA
but-
decided they needed to make it an element.
Yeah, I mean, that is possible. Anyways, so when he left, he claimed that he stole. That's how he had it, right?
Yeah.
He walked right out of Area 51 with the unobtainium. Don't remember the name. And they came and took some, but he still has some. He still has some
So
of this.
produce this stuff.
And that's what this guy is saying. He says, I interviewed Bob and we went through everything. And at one point I said, look, you have it. You can put this whole thing to rest. Not only can you clear your name, but you can like clear up the whole UFO, not totally, obviously, but it would put a lot of proof, you know, it would really back up his story. But without it, and he said, what would it take for you to do that? And Bob said something along the lines of, it would take a really big lab and a lot of money, meaning somebody has to give me a big lab and a lot of money. And then you're like, well, what is going on here? You know, like what are we doing here? If that's true, and he is just sitting on something that can solve all of this, but he's not coming out with it, like, what is he waiting on? So I'm going to have to do a little more.
I think you should have done a little more before you brought that to us, because I think you're now discrediting Bob Lazar.
Yeah, this puts in. Come on, I am not married
No,
to any ideas.
I respect your ability.
You seem to think that if I said something last week, I got to think it this week.
I hope you do. I hope you stick to your guns.
No, I still think that Bob Lazar believes what he believes. But I also think this is interesting. If he really did say that, which I have to double check, and he really does have it and he's just not coming out, that doesn't make any sense because the guy is trying to prove, this whole time he's been trying to prove that he's been telling the truth.
Or maybe he's just been trying to get his own lab and a ton of fucking money.
But it's the fact that you said that he wants that intent is the problem. If he just said, I just don't want it, I didn't want the hassle. Well, I actually want a lab and a lot of money. That's
Well, maybe he was just saying that to get the guy to stop asking questions.
That's a possibility, but I got to say, the whole I need a lab and a lot of money thing, that is a total 180 from the, I can't really talk about this because of my migraines.
it's what we
and
call
I'm
an angle.
Yeah, you know what? And I know you're kind of on that track already, but it really, to me, that plays very differently from the person we saw on Joe Rogan's podcast. That's all I'm going to say about it. Now, you can argue, well, he never wanted to go on a big platform, and let's keep in mind, Joe's not live. It's a guy he's comfortable with, and Joe Rogan, who he's had dinner with the night before in a studio alone with Jamie. I just...
Yeah, you know what, though, I don't like, and just to come to Bob's defense here
Sure.
a little bit, you can't, just because he is a little shisty and maybe a former pimp, it doesn't mean that he's not telling the truth.
Agreed.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, another example of that would be, shit, I just had it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But you can't just paint. just because 2 farmers did that crop circle, not all crop circles are fake. Just because, like,
Just
that-
because one person in Hollywood is a pedophile doesn't make everyone in Hollywood a pedophile.
correct. I never said everybody in.
I was just reiterating.
No, I totally agree with that.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
Well, there's doubt.
pedo gate.
There's doubt.
No, it's called Pizzagate. It's the same way. Pedo Gate.
Gate.
So, what episode would you recommend? I think it might be a split decision.
Tim Dillon. Even though we didn't give it its just due.
Coming in here, I would have said Tim Dillon, but after listening to Kamar, I guess I got to say Ron. But this is the thing. It's tough. Depends on what you're looking for. If you just want a good laugh and you want to enjoy yourself, Tim Dillon. If you're looking for a little pick-me-up and you want to maybe improve stuff in your life and you're looking for someone to give you some...
And not Goggins level.
No, I'm talking about some kind, like just someone who's like, I've been there, I've gone through it, you can do it too. It just takes a little bit of this kind of attitude, then I think Ron is your guy. But
I think Ron is your guy.
it depends what you're
And the end when he shits on his wife or ex-wife was amazing. And of course, if you're a fan, you have to listen to Joey Rogan, Joey Diaz, Brian Redband. It's just...
Well, like I said, to me, that one marks the end of an era.
It had to be done. Yeah, it had a
Like we
weird
might
thing
not
about
see
it.
we might not see Joey Diaz on there for. I know Joe talked in one of the episodes about how he's going to buy him a house in Texas, and eventually he'll come out. What a friend, by the way, too, right?
Well, we'll see. Like they said, Joey's going to go up to New Jersey, freeze balls off in December. Be like, I'm out of here, Joe Rogan. You got to save me. Who do you think's going to be on this week?
Well, they definitely mentioned somebody. I forget now.
Nikki Glazer.
Yeah, it was Nikki Glazer.
So we know he's not going on vacation yet.
There's not going to be a vacation.
I
You
think
guys are
he's going to
nuts.
take a week off before Spotify
I think he should.
starts.
I think he should.
and go where.
To Texas.
We'll just settle like fucking.
Joe doesn't take. Joe goes on. The only time Joe takes time off
He's
is.
moving to Texas.
Yes, I understand, but he's rich. He's not like us, where it's like, well, I got to pack up the kids and the
not
whole
moving boxes up
Yeah,
and down the
like what are you
stairs.
doing? He's going to take a
It's
flight.
true. His family is probably already in.
Yes, he's
Texas.
taking a private
Yeah.
flight to Texas.
And like you said, they're leaving their house, so it's not like they just left the house and they're renting it out, fully
Yeah.
furnished.
Not
bring
to,
your clothes.
Not to
you got a
McCloskey.
brand new. No, well maybe she's in the pool house now. Fucking.
Oh, in
hiding
closing,
out.
that reminds me, I was telling Simon, I was thinking about emailing Joe's people and seeing if we could buy the studio because it might be available.
Put an offer.
You know?
Low ball. Hey?
Yeah, that's what I was
Let's not
saying.
take anything off the table.
Simon kind of cack at it. I was like, listen, we'll offer 50 grand. We can pay in installments.
I cack at it for a second and I was like, do whatever the fuck
Yeah,
you want.
I know. I was just trying to
Oh,
make
that's
some.
the last thing I want to say. I've been watching this thing on Netflix. It's called like Animals of the Night or something.
Okay.
So they have it's like
Infrared cameras and stuff.
it's
Yeah.
super infrared cameras, super high aperture cameras that they can do the light.
ISO.
ISO, and because a lot of the shit happens at night, especially with the cats,
Yep.
the hunting
Everything
stuff.
happens at
Well,
night.
all the nocturnal animals.
So
too.
now you can see it, and I'm watching this, and it just feels like I'm watching something from the past. There's a disconnect that I do, like. All these things are happening as we speak right now.
What's your Coke?
This has been on for a while.
No, it's a new series.
It is?
Yeah, brand new series. It's a woman narrator.
Well, come on. I think it's like a month or two old. Though.
Month, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But in your defense, you might have seen it a month ago and just been like, this has been on.
Have you
You know how
watched it?
Netflix works, right?
I'm pretty sure I've watched something just like that, if not this.
What,
not this.
is this one where they
obviously.
show the polar bears
No.
eat the seal and they're white and
They
just
do that at
covered in
night?
blood? No, this is actually in the day. But the
Well,
weird
is it a show about hunting at night?
it
or
is
what?
it's
all
about
about hunting.
it's about everything. Just the cold, but they show elephants at night glow because they have so many blood vessels in their skin. Like it's very interesting. But I was more taken back that I felt like I was watching something from 100 years ago. But there's still all these amazing animals and stuff in the world. Just feel like they're in zoos. I think Tom Hanks is going to be on this week.
That's what he's doing now.
it's like his Olive Garden.
I think Nikki Glazer is going to be on.
Good call, Simon. Good call.
Won the movie game. Now I'm going to win this.
Oh, I know who will be on this week. Brennan Schaub.
Oh, Shaw,
And that
good one.
If Brendan Schaub is, there's no way they
Oh,
don't.
I guess
no,
maybe
no,
they
Brendan
couldn't bring
Schaub
Schaub
can't
on
be
then.
Brendan Schaub can't be on. But who else does he have
But
to
hold
have
on.
from
Schaub has
LA?
to go on sometime. Eddie Bravo and Schaub have to be on in the next 2 weeks.
Eddie has to go on
Right?
for sure.
Yeah.
Ari or Bert.
Alex Jones.
Ari has to get on. Tom has to
Ari
get
hasn't been on since Kobe died.
Tom Segura has
Yeah.
to get on. before they leave, and Bert.
He
will
might
be
bring
on
Tom
again.
and Pash. He might just bring On Your Mom's House.
Oh, it'll be.
They
both
also
of
just
them.
did. I don't know if you saw it. They did a live event this weekend that you had to pay for. Did you see that?
Your mom's house did?
Yeah.
No,
They
but
did a massive it was like a $10 like you had to pay, and it was graphic as fuck from
we
some
should,
of the
we
clips
should look
I
into
saw.
that. What about Theo?
It's been a long time since Theo.
There's a big call for Theo to be on
I
too.
think Theo got replaced by Schultz and Dylan.
Yeah, he was the flavor du jour for a while, and then he got too chummy with Schaub and that
We'll
crew.
see. We'll see.
Oh, what about Cheeto Santino? He has to be back on. And,
Well, Tom Papa. Got to bring a last
fuck.
batch of
Well,
bread.
We'll call you in for that one. Come
I'll be on it, the beat
Up
writer.
to bat.
Anyways, very interesting these next 2 weeks before they switch over to Spotify.
End of an era. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the post, Joe. Have a great weekend.
Keep your eyes open.